I'm Tyler from Reversion Raceworks, and we are back on the Suburban build today. We are going to show you how easy it is to go from your factory gauge cluster to a Holley 686 Pro Dash or the big 12.3. We're going to be using our direct fit brackets for both screen sizes, showing you how to install the Dash Defense screen protector, and going through the Holley Pro Dash software to show you how to do a completely custom layout for your screen. The 686 Pro Dash has been great to us, but now that our 12.3 is ready, we want something that fills up this space just that much more. But that's enough talking. Let's jump into it and pull this thing apart. That's it. Here we have the two digital dashes for our Suburban. Up first, the Holley 686 Pro Dash and our new 12.3. And you can see there's a little bit of a difference between the two. One, that 12.3 is covered in smudges. And two, this 686 has a little bit more of a matte finish. And that's because the 686 has our Dash Defense screen protector already installed. We like to install these kits on any Pro Dash that we install because it makes the driving experience that much better and it protects your hefty investment. But that's enough of a sales pitch. Let's show you how to install one of these.
We try to make your Dash Defense install go as easy and smoothly as possible. You have a supplied alcohol wipe to clean your screen before the final install, and there's also a microfiber and cleaning solution to maintain the screen protector as you use it. There's a black squeegee you can see in the background that could be used for the stubborn bubbles if you happen to get any. But if you take your time and use the method I'm showing you on screen, your installation will go incredibly smoothly and your screen will be protected for years to come. And after you take your time laying down that screen protector, just peel back the protective film for installation and you're ready to roll. Now that 686 Pro Dash is out of the way, let's show you how we wired this thing. You can see the factory plug is cut up a little bit, and that's just so we could take those original signals and rewire them to the Holley itself. We were able to reuse some wire from stuff we removed from the truck because fortunately they had the same pins as that connector for the Holley. So that made this super easy. And a good thing is the 12.3 and the 686 use the same exact plug and basic wiring. So no modification needs to be made here. And we'll show you up on screen the diagrams we used to reference the factory service manual and then create our own guide on how to wire these Pro Dashes from the original wire harness. Now that we have everything wired up, let's show you how we configure one of these Pro Dashes.
Fortunately, these Holley Pro Dashes come with a lot of pre-configured screens, and they look pretty great. But you may not have known, there's a lot of custom options you could do as well. Like for our application, we wanted to mimic the factory gauge cluster as closely as possible, so we spent some time making a custom layout, and we wanted to show you some tips and tricks we learned along the way. So to get started, you're going to want to go to the menu, and you could check on your configuration. Up here you could pick how many layouts there are from 1 to 10, and there's 9 presets on the Holley itself. If you choose 10, then you'll get a blank one that you could work with, and that's the custom one we created. Then down here you could pick what is the initial one, so what will come on the screen on initial boot up. So we picked number 10 since that's the one where you want to run. Over here there's an automatic brightness, or you could change it to manual and adjust accordingly, but we'll keep that on automatic for now. Now to actually customize the screen, you go into the customization tab, hit OK, and here you have all the different options for the gauges. So to start off, if you want to add a gauge, you just click anywhere in the blank section and hit add, where you could then go to gauge, label, or switch. Switch meaning you could have a button or something that'll act like, say, a toggle switch, but for what we're doing, we're going to be mostly working with gauges. In here, there's all the preset channels that Holley does for you, or you could just go to all channels where there's some that are preset, some that aren't. But what we'll be doing is working mostly in local I/O. So in local I/O, a few things that we configured were the fuel level, the turn signals, your ABS, and a lot of that is going to come from the factory harness itself. There's also the GPS speed sensor and other things that are pre-configured in the Holley, so it'll really be a combination of both, but we'll show you how we got there. We have all of our gauges figured out already, but I just want to show you how to do one right from the beginning so you know step-by-step process. So we'll throw in a GPS speed as a speedometer, just as a quick example. And we'll make it analog, and we'll just move that a little bit, and see how it's kind of a mess. You go from 0 to 999 miles an hour, and it's a little bit hard to read with the sizing and everything, but we could fix that really quick. So if you go into customize, you could change the name, maybe just make MPH visible as the unit, and you could go into the name and make it not visible. So now it just says MPH there. Then the range, most vehicles are only 100 or 150 miles an hour, so we'll just make it 100 for this example. Now that automatically changed your tick marks. You can see on our other gauges we don't have a bezel around them. That's an easy one to change. You could go just to border and we'll have it either enabled or disabled. Then averaging, in this case you wouldn't want it to, but if you had something, say like for data acquisition like fuel economy, you'd probably want some sort of averaging to go in there. Now you could go into warnings and say you wanted it to let you know if you're going to be above the speed limit or something. You could change this to say, I don't know, 60 miles an hour, and then the gauge would turn yellow when you're getting up there. It's less important for speeds, but for say oil pressure, fuel gauge, or battery, those are much more important where you'd want to know high or low warning signals. But it's default for this type of sensor, so obviously speedometer, that there's no high or low rating. So you could change that here, and let's say make this 90. Oops. And we'll make the low warning like 15. Now you'll have a scale that'll have a warning as you're increasing speed, but obviously that's pretty atypical. Then for the sweep aspect of it, there's a bunch of pre-configured ones like 270, 120, 90 degrees. It all depends on the look you want to go for. Then transparency, you could change the gauge itself, the background. So if you have a programmed background, like say you design something, you can make the gauges fully transparent so you'll see behind them. Or if you're just doing a solid color, you could keep them black to stand out more, or it really depends on your application and style. And for segments, that's going to go over your like major ticks. So like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, you could say let's make these 5 segments. Now it's only going from 20 to 40 instead of showing each 10 mile an hour increment. Then if you wanted more ticks, like a lot of OEM gauges have, you can increase that from 1 to say maybe 10. Now I have all these little micro ticks that you can count to go in between. You can also turn on or turn off these numbers just by clicking enable or disable, or the size of the gauge itself. Like this is at 200. Let's say you want it to be even smaller. You can make it 100, or you could make it huge and go to say 500. So since we don't need this, I'm just going to delete it. But that goes over a lot of the little things, which is making a gauge. So let's go into the actual GPS speed that we have, go into customize, and you'll see here, I found that negative 110 to positive 110 degrees was a very OE looking sweep for our application. I also messed with the size and just kept going back and forth, looking at the original one to this, and just made it look as close as possible by eye. There really was no science to it. It was just what I felt looked good. So then for your tachometer, sweep was a little weirder. Like I went from negative 115 degrees to positive 25 degrees. Because if you look at the factory gauge cluster, it was a pretty similar shape to that. So again, I just kept trial and error until I made it look like how I envisioned it. I also copied the original name on the gauge cluster where it says RPM over 1000. And I just changed the unit to say that exact same thing in the text. These gauges on the side, I did a similar thing, just found a size that was appropriate. But you could see here how there's no name, it's just a symbol. If you go into customize, into label, and click up here, you could have your text, of course, jump into symbols, and now you have all these different symbols that you can work with. Whether it be temperature related, parking related, oil related, there's a lot of great options, so you can really make this thing look OEM plus. Here's obviously an instance where warnings would be a little more applicable. You can see we have a yellow and red tick, And if you go into the warnings, you'll see I made it a low warning alarm at 10% fuel and a low warning at 20%. And I disabled the high warnings because once it reaches 100%, that's full fuel. There's really not much of a problem there. Now here's one that's a little more interesting with the turn signals. A lot of people, you'll see them configure them, go into gauges, local IO, and let's say right turn. Most people use a status LED, where when you turn your right turn signal on, you just have a light that turns on, which works. You'll know that your turn signal is working just fine, but I thought the arrow looked a lot better. So the way you would do that is, let's delete it and add another one. Go to add gauge, local IO, right turn. Instead of doing status LED, you'd want to go to symbol, right turn, go to customize, and under label, instead of the text, clear it out and add your little arrow. So it's very easy to improve the look very quickly and give it a nice OEM touch instead of just a status LED. Now another thing you might notice is the arrow is gray on this side, but it's black on this side. If you go into here and customize, you'll see our colors. You go into warnings and you'll see we shut off the low warning. So normal, when there's no power, it's gray. And then when it's a high warning, when it's on, it'll be green. So it'll flash green on your dash, just like the OEM would. What we did different on the left side, go into warnings again, same setup, disabled low warnings, enabled high warnings, same color for high warnings, but in normal, set your alpha channel to 0. You'll have a nice transparent gauge or signal for whatever you're trying to accomplish. So this is great for turn signals, warning lights, and other things of that nature. We did a similar thing with the battery light, airbag light, ABS, and brake pressure. Let's go up here to the battery, hit customize. Another way you could do it is by changing the color to black. But that's also only going to work if you're using a straight up black background. Of course, if you had some sort of graphic, you'd see a black outline in this situation. We'll show you what you mean. If you hit save, since we're sitting on the bench and don't have a battery hooked up, we have a low voltage warning popping up on the dash. You'll also see over here with the fuel gauge that's reading 100% full, because nothing's plugged in, so it's kind of tricked into thinking there's a full tank of gas. So one thing that's not pre-programmed is the fuel gauge itself. So we'll have to go into your configurations, dash configuration, and these are all your input outputs that you could put into the Holley bulkhead. So you'll see here where we did some custom ones like the fuel level, airbag, brake pressure as mentioned before, and you'll see the fuel level is custom ohms. So you could pick all these different options for this input. With custom ohms, you hit this little gear, and now you have a full scale of how you could program that gauge. This sending unit reads from 40 all the way to 250 ohms. And then you want that value to read 0, so it'd be empty at 40 ohms, and 100 at 250 ohms. So let's say you swapped it to a more typical GM sensor. That would be 0 to 90 ohms. Now your scale is all screwed up because it's not linear. But Holley makes this really easy where you just hit linearize X and it takes all those values from 0 to 90 and interpolates them to make sense. Otherwise, that's the only funky one. The rest of them are switch 12 volt and just naming them appropriately. Now, the last thing we need to do is set the odometer. So we'll go into utilities, service menu, and you have your odometer and trip settings right here. So our truck has 132, 551.9 miles. Didn't like that, so we'll just go to 2. Now when you go to the dashboard, you'll see the miles are reading accurately right here. So technically this dash will install without modification, but I didn't really consider plugging in this security USB-C that Holley provides. So there was a little bit of a clearance problem. I just notched it so it'll fit a little bit nicer. If I had more time, I'd probably recommend getting like a 90-degree USB-C, just so you could do all this without touching the truck. But this will work perfectly fine, and now we can button it up today. Pretty sweet. That pretty much wraps it up for today. You can see how easy it is to install your aftermarket parts when you buy them from the right company. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit up our Discord, and we'll see you in the next one.